Imagine a world where tens of thousands of individuals live together in perfect coordination, where every member is born knowing exactly around reproduction. At the height of her productivity, she can lay up to 2,000 eggs in a single day, placing each one carefully into a prepared cell. This continues day after day, almost without pause, for years. Yet despite her importance, her position is not secure. If she becomes weak or fails to produce enough offspring, the workers will replace her without hesitation. In this society, survival comes before status, and even the queen is not above the needs of the colony. The workers, all of them female, are the true engine of the hive. Their lives are short but incredibly dynamic, changing as they age. A young worker begins her life cleaning cells, ensuring that every space is spotless, making them unique in their biology. They are slightly larger than workers, with broader bodies, thicker abdomens, and most noticeably, enormous eyes that dominate their heads. These oversized eyes are not accidental, they are essential tools, designed to spot a queen in flight high above the ground. Everything about the drone's body is shaped for one purpose: finding and mating with a virgin queen. Inside the hive, drones live in a state of dependence. They cannot feed themselves effectively, relying instead on worker bees to provide them with food. Workers regurgitate honey into their mouths, sustaining them day after day. This might seem like a burden on the colony, and in many ways, it is. Drones consume valuable resources without contributing to daily tasks, and yet the colony tolerates them. Why? Because their existence represents the future. Without drones, there would be no new queens fertilized, no new colonies formed, and no continuation of the hive's lineage. The workers, despite their efficiency, understand, through instinct rather than thought, that investing in drones is an investment in survival beyond the present moment. As they mature, drones begin to take short orientation flights, learning the landscape around the hive. These flights are crucial, as they prepare the drone for the one event that will define his life. Soon, he begins to travel farther, joining other drones in specific areas known as drone congregation zones. These are not random gatherings but consistent locations in the sky where drones from many different hives come together. Sometimes they hover dozens of meters above the ground, forming invisible clouds of anticipation. Scientists are still uncovering exactly how these locations are chosen, but what is clear is that they remain stable over time, used again and again by generations of drones. Each day, during warm and sunny conditions, drones leave their hive and fly to these congregation areas. There, they wait, sometimes for hours, scanning the sky with their powerful eyes. Hundreds, even thousands of drones may gather, all sharing the same singular focus. The air vibrates with the sound of their wings, a low hum of expectation. Yet despite their numbers, most will never achieve their goal. Only a tiny fraction will ever encounter a queen, and an even smaller number will succeed in mating. When a virgin queen takes her mating flight, the atmosphere in the congregation area changes instantly. She releases pheromones, chemical signals that spread through the air like an invisible beacon. These signals trigger an immediate response. Drones detect the scent and surge toward its source, forming a chaotic, swirling chase. The queen flies at high speed, and the drones pursue her with everything they have, each one driven by instinct and urgency. It is a race against time, against distance, and against each other. For the drone that succeeds, the moment is both triumphant and final. Mating occurs in mid-air, a brief but intense interaction. As the drone connects with the queen, his reproductive organ is averted and inserted, transferring genetic material. But the process is violent. The act causes a rupture within his body, tearing his abdomen apart. As he falls away from the queen, his life ends. The very act that fulfills his purpose also ensures his death. What remains attached to the queen is known as the mating sign, evidence of the encounter and a marker for the next drone. The queen does not mate with just one drone. During her flight, she may mate with multiple males, sometimes 10, 15, or even more. This ensures genetic diversity within the colony, strengthening its resilience against disease and environmental challenges. single opportunity, and a single outcome. And though most will never achieve that moment, the hive continues, generation after generation, because of the few that do. Despite the presence of a queen, the hive operates not as a monarchy but as a democracy. When the colony must make a major decision, such as choosing a new home, it does not rely on a single leader. Instead, scout bees venture out to explore possible locations. When they return, they communicate their findings through a remarkable behavior known as the waggle dance. Each movement encodes information about direction, distance, and quality. Other scouts observe these dances, investigate the sites themselves, and then return to share their own evaluations. Over time, a consensus emerges, not through command, but through collective agreement. The hive, as a whole, decides its future. It is a system of decision-making that rivals even the most advanced human institutions. Communication within the hive reaches its most astonishing form in the waggle dance. When a bee discovers a rich source of food, she returns source of protein. They gather it from flowers, packing it into specialized structures on their legs before bringing it back to the hive. There, it is mixed, stored, and transformed into a nutrient-rich substance that feeds the growing larvae. Together, honey and pollen provide everything the colony needs to survive, from energy to growth, forming the foundation of the hive's entire existence. The structure that holds all of this together is the honeycomb, a construction so precise that it has fascinated scientists for centuries. Each cell is a perfect hexagon, a shape that allows for maximum storage with minimal material. Bees produce the wax themselves, secreting tiny scales that are shaped and molded into place. Working together in darkness, without a blueprint or a leader, they create vast networks of perfectly aligned cells. The angles are exact, the walls uniform, and the efficiency unmatched. It is a level of architectural skill that emerges not from planning, but from instinct and cooperation. Maintaining the hive requires constant attention, especially when it comes to temperature. The brood, where new bees develop, must be kept at a steady warmth. In cold conditions, bees cluster together, generating heat by vibrating their muscles. In extreme heat, they switch strategies, fanning their wings to create airflow and even bringing in water to cool the hive through evaporation. Shows how unity can transform limitation into strength. As bees move quietly from flower to flower, they are not only sustaining their colony but supporting entire ecosystems, including our own.